create stories, I create art, and I like to do improv. So if that's something you're about, then holler at me. You know, uh, via Instagram, His Majesty's Kingdom, via Twitter. Um, what's my Twitter handle? I forget my Twitter handle. Jeez Louise. Or you can hit me up on YouTube, HK Media. Um, you know, but yeah, like these are some of the show stories I've started writing. Touch of the Occult, The Great Work, Wizard's Will, Card Holder, A Moose in Manhattan. This is more of a kid's story. Animal Town. This is more of a Central Parkish story about animals who live in Times Square or New York and their lives. The Amazing Madman. This story is almost finished. It's a short story about uh, a younger brother of many siblings who has to gain his power by basically doing something that no one else would do, which causes him to go mad. But he's amazing in his madness. Um, 388E. This is kind of a biography about the time I had an apartment when I was in high school with a couple of my friends. It was just a real interesting time, and I wanted to kind of remember that and write those memories down because I feel like it would lend itself well to a little mini film or a short film or a little analog of short stories. The Christmas Story. This is one of my favorite things I'm writing about, or I've written, or I'm currently writing. As you can see, it's like. But the concept is this: I am Nicholas Elfenlord, handsome, funny, assertive, charming, thoughtful, obnoxious, clinging, bossy. When I'm sometimes lazy, I'm never rude, crude, malicious, or vile. But in the end, it turns out I wasn't the person I turned into. I learned that one person's destiny is a known or unchangeable thing. Isn't a known or unchangeable thing. Destiny is the actions of free will based on one's narrative. Uh, there are wisdoms. There are wisdoms that I, as a young man, bleeding from the veins with power and ignorance, couldn't care much for. I was told I was destined to change the world from the moment I could remember understanding language. I was born with the magic the likes men haven't seen since the Mesozoic era. An era where men and women would bond and have real communications, interactions with the world. Blase blase. So basically, this is a story about how this guy was supposed to be. This is the story of how one of the most badass, uh, obnoxious wizards end up becoming Santa Claus. And we're definitely going to finish that one. One more that I want to talk about before I leave. I got you here, right? Since I got you here, let's also talk about this. Remnants. So this is another aspect of myself that I need to improve on. I only come and write. I only revisit these stories. Um, Probably like once every 2 months. When I want to be visiting these stories once to twice a week. You know, but I'm at like once a month, which will get me nowhere in the grand scheme of like me trying to actually succeed or move forward by doing things that I like, by using my creativity. So, with that being said, hopefully this marks the day where I start to conquer my stories. But this story right here, Reminiscence, uh, previously called The Lords of Adventures, or The Guardians, Guardianship, or something like that, before the Guardians. I was writing this before the first Guardians of the Galaxy. I thought about this before the first Guardians of the Galaxy uh, movie came out. I actually used to write this story in notebooks, but it's the story, and it's probably the one of my most uh, one of the stories where I have the most lore, the the most information. I've written the most about the story. I have the story in my head from start to finish. I have the kind of the world set up and everything, but I'm still trying to set up the world so that I can write more smoothly. But the synopsis or the what it's basically about is it's a coming of age story uh, with mild drama and comedy. I wanted to play I wanted to play like Harry Dresden's Harry Dresden, Jim Butcher's books, novels. I wanted to play like that meets the romantic quality style of writing that you see in The Name of the Wind or A Wise Man's Fear, written by Patrick Rothfuss. I wanted something like that. But in the end, you know, I'm making my own voice. So the main characters in the story are Simon Tyrone Northright. He's black. He's a wizard. Not yet, and not in the beginning of the story. Thomas Hanseer. He's white. He's a wizard. That's Simon's best friend. I don't know if I want his name to be Tyrone, but I like that. I like the name Tyrone because it's strong, and it's African. It's strong and it's African American. Tyrone is an ugly name to me though. So ugly. I might change it. Simon Tyrone Northright. That doesn't really roll off the tongue. Simon Al Northright. That might go. Simon Al Northright. Simon Al Northright. All right. Then we got Alana Tion, warrior princess possessed from another land. Warrior princess from another land. She's a runaway. She's possessed by the spirit of an ancient uh, warrior who sometimes take over her body when she's in stress or scared. And then we got Tak Hernandez. Originally, Tak was going to be Indian, but I wanted to make him Mexican because I don't see too many Hispanic or Mexican uh, magic users in the stories I'm usually reading. Then we got Finch Uden, musician and reluctant assassin, plays the guitar. Finch Uden, father was Karlik Uden, founder and destroyer of Hand of Shadows. These guys I don't really know too much about, but I think I wanted I think I wanted an assassin in the group or something like that. Who knows? He has no real background except for the background I gave him right here. And then we got support characters: Peter, Simon's dad; Courtney, Simon's sisters; Anna, Simon's mother; Lance, Thomas' father; Judy, Thomas' mother; Minute, he's an agent; Royal and Jane Cummings, New Thought leaders. Okay, I know who they are. Logan Highborn, Miranda's father; and Miranda Highborn. And these two are from Palace. Those are some of my main supporting characters, but it's going to be a lot because you know. But this is really ambitious because for me, because although I've read so many books and I love the art of storytelling and I love reading about stories, to write a novel or a book, even a bad book, is a tremendous undertaking. So whenever I'm doing this, sometimes I get overwhelmed and I'll just take a step back and that overwhelmness will have me not coming back for a little while because I feel I start to feel like how do I write it when all I have to do is tell the story and connect the pieces. Like I said, I have the beginning, middle, and end. You have two boys grow up with each other. One has a gift. One gives another gifts. Give another the gifts by accident. Um, they become real good friends. They end up clashing once they get to college. In college, they learn um, the true nature of the gifts that they have because they will attend college at this place called Palace, which is a world above our world that floats kind of above the Bermuda Triangle in that area, and it's about as big as the Bermuda Triangle, if not bigger, and it's shrouded in a veil of clouds, and so you will never see it as a regular person unless you know those there are those rare circumstances where people have found palace pilots, mind you, um, and while they're here, they're going to learn about a situation where Palace is threatened to. I mean, Palace is on the verge of falling from out the sky and landing like a meteor on Earth and totally destroying everything. And something happened, a cataclysm, if you would say, happened that predates that's the prologue of the story. So you have a planet, you have a Earth, you have a United States that's kind of like ours, that's kind of like our world, similar in a lot of aspects, but also different in many different ways. General setting. There is evidence that magic exists and was widely used and harnessed, respected, and feared before the modern age. Although there is proof and evidence, scholars often debate and can only truly speculate as to what causes it to go away in the 2020s. The Earth is much like it was before, but there are more barren, radioactive, heat-scorched, and exotic places due to the catastrophe of the year 2001. A place, palace, and I talk about what palace is, a landmass covered in clouds, blah blah blah. Home to a few gods, a few living gods, although they're asleep, and a few demigods, and but mainly people who have the gift. And then you got the guilt. These are the people who kind of let me see on and about palace. There are two levels and orders and rules. Oh, this is all unpolished. The lands are ruled by classes of nobility, the highest being duke. The other way things are ruled on palaces by guilds. Five guilds run the mechanisms of palace. There's the merchant guild who oversees most trades, currency, and general commerce. There's guild of talent, mages, and few mundanes who run and oversee the training and laws of most magical users on palace. The Mercenaries Guild, in charge of fighters, warriors, battle mages, and the likes. Noble houses aren't allowed to have armed militias, but are allowed to contract any number and size of men from the mercenaries as needed. Okay, as long as they have enough coin or promise thereof. All mercenary contracts are entered with a mage binding. The guild or the path is headed by various priests. Oh, the Guild of the Path, the other guild, is headed by various priests. They govern the many belief system, which is critical in keeping Palace aloft in the sky. Um, like I said, there are elder gods. I'm not giving too much up. Okay, as it is the elders beings or the four major religions that help ensure the palace does not plummet into the earth, causing another icing, and it is the worship of the people that gives the elders power to do so. Okay, so in this story, in this world, belief, belief in a deity gives that deity power. Um, that's why it's crucial that there are people who believe and who pray and who do all the, you know, all the things that the gods needs to stay in power. It's crucial that they do that. But something's going to happen in the story that kind of messes that up because Simon will play a key part in um, waking the gods in order for them to re-strengthen the magics that are keeping Palace afloat. If they, he's the one who can wake him. This is the first time this has happened. Okay, that's a prophecy, but I'm not gonna relate too heavily on prophecy. Um, but he can help. There will be a situation to where something happens and Palace falls, and people die, and it's devastating. And the way it happens is through manipulation and, you know, breaking up a friendship and forging of new ideas about who someone is, who Simon is. It's just I have the beginning, middle, and end. I just need the middle structure to make it an epic story. I need those wow moments. I need those throw the book down on mad moments. I need those I can't believe it moments. You know what I mean? I need those yes moments, and I'm trying to find them. But other than that, yeah. So that's me. That's the whole creative aspect of His Majesty's Kingdom, His Majesty's Kin on Twitch. And I thank you guys for watching this. If you guys did watch, it was a long stream, very long stream, and most likely this stream will get very little views because most of my streams get very little views until I establish myself, until I make myself known. You know, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. But until then, His Majesty's Kingdom, three towers all the way up. Stay lovely.